So what we are going to discuss now is a concept called as you within you. You within you, a person who is inside your own self. Whatever we are performing in our life, whatever we are performing in our business, or whatever we are performing in our academics, in school, in college, is only to an extent of 60%. There are 40% of things that we haven't explored at all. The concept of you within you. As you can see here, there are things here. This is actually you, and what is written in both corners are the real limits. For example, let me tell you what is a real limit. A 40-year-old man cannot run very faster like a 16-year-old teenager. A 65-year-old senior citizen cannot run faster like a 40-year-old man. So this is called as a real limit. That is, a 40-year-old man not being able to run. Tanvi, are you able to understand my English? I'm speaking on a simple English.
Yes, sir.
So the 40-year-old man not being able to run like a 16-year-old man is the real limit for the 40-year-old man. And it is the real limit for the 60-year-old man. So real limit is accepted. There is no problem in real limit because that's natural. That's natural. Like, you as a fifth grader can cycle for long time and for long distance. But a 55-year-old woman cannot cycle that distance because that's the real limit for her. Okay. But what the problem is, there are something called as self-imposed limits, unrealized potential. Okay, self-imposed limits. Self-imposed limits means the limits that we are reinforcing within our mind. Because of that, we always have our potential unrealized. As you can see here in this particular graphic, you see this is you, and there is a very big box around you, and you're not coming out of it. And because you are confined within the box, there are a lot of unrealized potential. See, you are like a you're supposed to be like a fish, swimming in this big blue lined box. But instead of swimming in this big blue lined box, you're only here. You're only operating into the circle, and you're not coming out of the circle. And even if you come out of the circle, you're not coming out of this box. Okay, so there are a lot of unrealized potential. What do you mean by unrealized potential? You yourself don't know that you have got such and such potential. Why? The reason is you're imposing self-imposed limits. What is self-imposed limits? I cannot get a center in math because it's not easy. I cannot get, good marks in science. Only 80, 85%. Reaching 90% is going to be very tough for me in science. Okay, I cannot balance my life between sports and studies. Only one, either sports or studies, because it's very difficult. So these are all the self-imposed limits. Real limits, self-imposed limits. Real limits is natural. Self-imposed limit is unnatural. So in psychology, we have a disease, and we name the disease as echolalia. You see, just like the head is fixed with a funnel, and through this funnel, you are inculcating a lot and lot of negative programming. Sometimes our family will say, we are all poor. Mom will speak that, family, we cannot earn so much because we are poor people. But we are good people, we are honest people. Well, Tanvi, money doesn't grow in trees. Okay, so there is a limit that we can buy things and purchase things. There is a lot of restrictions. So you cannot be a doctor even if you pass NEET examination. You cannot be in this profession because our family is not designed like that. So don't imagine and don't be a person who is, dreaming for becoming this and this. We cannot do that in our family. Our family cannot do that. Our family cannot afford to it. Our family does not have the capability of doing all that. All these are called as the self-imposed limits. And if you speak like this, it's just getting into the funnel, and it gets programmed into the mind. And therefore, let's say, for example, this is you and this is your goal. Okay, it's encrypted as a dollar, but let us assume that this is your goal and this is you. And you and the goal in between, see, there is a very big iron bar. So your goal is being restricted. Why? Because of so many self-imposed questions that you are putting into your mind. And that is called as echolalia. What do you mean by echolalia? Echolalia means frequently speaking about some negative statements repeatedly, again and again, so that it gets programmed. There are a lot of echolalia prospects that we have been designing within our mind, and that is our mistake. So echolalia means frequently, and very, very repeated. We use some statements into our mind, and that makes us very, very ineffective. So we need to get rid of this echolalia. This echolalia disease has to be stopped. Well, how can we do that? What is the procedures for that? Because of echolalia, you are always going to be in a self-imposed jail, as you are seeing in this graph. So you need to get out of this jail, and you need to get out of this prison. So that's going to be possible with a particular technique. Now, listen carefully. You have to become a vibrant you, and you need to develop your skills. Now, whatever I have explained, I'll put up the audio, listen to it, and then we will come to the solution. I'm playing the audio for your language development. Listen carefully.
We live inside two boxes. One, the big box, the solid line represents real limits, and we all have some real limits. But inside that box, the much smaller box shown with the dotted line is made up of self-imposed limits. Now, we manufacture these limits from things we've been taught, been conditioned to believe about ourselves and the world around us. For example, if as a youngster you heard a lot of things like poor but honest, money doesn't grow on trees, don't be a show-off, money can't buy happiness, a day late and a dollar short, that's just the way I am. Well, these have become embedded commands that now limit your ability to enjoy financial success. But did these ideas come from people qualified to teach you about financial success? Echolalia is a medical term for the repetition of words and phrases picked up from others until they become beliefs. These inner limitations set your thermostats and restrict your ability to learn, to enjoy health, to relax, to handle stress, even to love. Psychocybernetics gives you many skills for resetting your thermostats and expanding your abilities. These skills make things that are now difficult for you remarkably easy. Famous champion golfer Ben Hogan told Time magazine that he made each golf shot in his imagination, not just visualizing it, but actually feeling it, experiencing it before making the shot. Ben said this gave him perfect muscle memory. Synthetic successful experience leads to actual successful experience. Through rehearsal in the theater of your mind, you can build up success reflexes and automatic success behaviors.
Now, let's come to the solution. You just listen to the audio, and it is my version of simple experience. Now you see this golf playing champion. The golfer hits the ball and it goes to the proper destination. Now, if you want to get out of echolalia and if you want to produce good results, these are the words that you need to remember. Visualize, feel, and experience. Visualize, feel, and experience. Let's say, for example, you are having an examination tomorrow, and for that examination, you're prepared, you're studying, you're taking notes, you're setting up the alarm, and you're waking up early in the morning. You're again studying, skipping breakfast, and then after forcing from mother, you're taking some breakfast and you're going to the examination. None of these efforts will give you proper results unless you are using this technique that I'm going to show you. Because in this technique, you're going to understand what is actually synthetic experience and what is actually real experience. Synthetic and real. Synthetic and real. I'll give you an example. Eat an apple. Eat your favorite sweet. Let's take these two examples. Visualizing as if you are having the apple, visualizing as if you are eating the apple, well, that's good. That is mind's power and that is visualization. But as far as the sweet is concerned, if you're visualizing eating the sweet and feeling the sweetness of the sweet into your jaw, and at one given point of time, even feeling the wonderful fragrance of the sweet into your skull. And the only difference is you don't have the sweet in hand, but your mind experiences the actual experience of eating that sweet. Now, this one is not imagination. This one is not visualization. This one is synthetic experience. Children are very good at this. 1 year, 2 year toddlers are very, very good at this. If they want something, they exactly visualize that into their mind and they know how to experience it. They want an ice cream, they synthetically experience eating an ice cream into the mind and they go and ask their mom, get me some ice cream. Because the child's stimulus is looking for ice cream because the child wants to have the synthetic experience to be converted into what? Real experience. So then it goes to the mom and it asks for ice cream. And you give the bowl of ice cream, the child eats the ice cream, and the child puts the entire concentration only to the ice cream. When we were like when we were children, we were like this only. But as we grew up, we were not able to have this. This is called a synthetic experience. Now let's go back to the screen. So here, the golfer first visualizes and he feels what? He feels his bat hitting the ball. He feels that the ball travels long way, all the way to the other side of the court. And he feels that the ball goes and finds its destination spot. He feels everything. And when you're feeling, based upon your feeling, your experience will also happen. You see, it is like programming a supercomputer. Okay, right? So those days in 1990s, the computers used to be like this. The keyboards, look at the keyboard. And look at the central processing unit, and if it is under the keyboard, it is not visible in this picture. And look at the monitors. So this is how the computers were operated in the 1990s. You are operating as a executive into the mind like this. So you experience a synthetic process. Okay, so as vividly you are using the synthetic process, that is like you're going for the examination at 9 o'clock, you just close your eyes and you visualize as if the answer sheet is given. You visualize your, you're holding the pen like this, and you visualize as if you're writing to the fullest capacity. And when you're writing, you visualize the satisfaction of the complete answer. All these real imagination and powerful visualization is called as synthetic experience. And real experience is going to be according to the synthetic experience. So synthetic experience is equal to real experience. That's what is written here. So you have to practice synthetic experience. Whenever you are feeling that echolalia is torturing you and it is putting you in a negative, ineffective way, you have to use the synthetic experience practice. As you could see in the slide, how do you create greater success until you have experienced greater success? If you are not experiencing the greater success, then how will it happen in your life? If you are not experiencing 10 percentage in that math examination, then how will you get the center of the math examination? Because you have not seen that into your mind. So when you're seeing that into your mind, that is called as synthetic experience. So that's the end. Tanvi, what you do is, now we are going to open another window. 4 minutes time is available for you. You just take notes of what you have learned in this particular concept I have taught you. And on the other side of the window, you explain in your own method, and then you will finish the class. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So you have to learn using the synthetic experience. Synthetic experience is the only solution for taking rid of your echolalia disease.
Sir,
All right.
this is a mind exercise, sir.
Yes, this is a mind exercise. It is not like a therapy. Before you do something, you just close your eyes and you visualize and do the synthetic experience and then start doing that particular task. The task will be really interesting and whatever you have imagined will happen.
Okay, sir.
Okay.